Mr. Doti, welcome to Gateway Gujarat. Thank you for giving the presentation today, which you gave about your, L&T Finance's portfolio, SME portfolio in Gujarat. But we would like to know as to what is the entire India book, and out of that, what is the exposure in the SME front?
Sure. So, sir, in the recently concluded quarter, as you have seen, basically the retail growth has been achieved at a YOY of almost 34%. So, the retail book stands in excess of 61,000 crore in our balance sheet today. And in that, the share of SME finance happens to be around 1900 crores.
Okay. And of the 1900 crore pie, which is, I understand, the India book, what is the Gujarat exposure?
So 20% is the Gujarat exposure. 20% of the overall book of the SME happens to be in the Gujarat region.
Gujarat. Okay.
Yeah.
The presentation which you gave today to the press, what we understand is that your omnipresence is increasing, your participation to the digital presence is happening strongly, but equally your presence, physical presence is equally happening strongly even in the semi-urban centers as well as urban centers. The trend of the industry is different. Most of the places the companies are shutting down their offices, keeping it with the expenditure, and they are moving more digital, spending more on the promotions with the kind of brand icons and everything which needs to be done. So why this kind of something juxtaposing the industry trend basically?
So definitely, as you have seen in our basically mission statement, we want to be an entity which is basically moving away from product focused to customer focused. And now when it comes to the customer, I think the option lies with the customer all the times. And as an L&T group, we have a very strong geo presence today across branches. We have almost 150 urban branches, more than 1700 rural branches, and we have in thousands basically the touch points through our channel partners. And then we want to also be a company which is basically pivoting towards fintech at scale. And I mentioned to you about the our own homegrown Planet app. So idea is basically to leverage on all these resources and make the best optimum use of everything rather than pivoting only in one direction. You have to also understand that having a physical touch point with the customer is also a very strong point which we already possess, and we would want to leverage on that.
Okay. Average ticket size in Gujarat stands around 24 lakhs. So that's a plain vanilla product, or it's an integration of some other products also?
No, sir. So basically in SME, we have basically the ticket size that moves from 5 lakh to 50 lakhs.
Okay.
Now, depending on the customer's profile, be it he is coming from the self-employed professional or self-employed non-professional, depending on the overall indebtedness that the customer has, the debt sizing and the tenor, we then finalize the ticket size between 5 lakh to 50 lakh someplace.
Okay.
What we are telling is the average ticket size is basically the total loan group divided by the number of customers. That is how that number has been set up.
And what is the span you service basically? It's in the range of how many months, like this 24 lakh?
So maybe 48 months to 60 months is the safe bet to say.
Okay. And what is the recovery ratio? In other words, I would say, what is the kind of NPA you have in this territory? Because SME is something which we hear a lot of news, it's burning post-COVID. I mean, the kind of supply chain break basically on receiving the finances and everything. So what's your experience? What's L&T Finance's experience?
So touch wood, we have basically more than 99.5% of the collection efficiency in SME business today. Ours is a very new business,
Okay.
1 year old today. And because of that, this good basically asset quality that we are enjoying today. So NPA ratio actually therefore would be absolutely minuscule, 0.1% kind of a thing.
Can you just brief me, because you're today 61,000 crores all India book, 2,000 crores is your Gujarat book, out of which, as you say, 20% is the SME exposure in Gujarat. So what do you look to close this fiscal or probably after next 5 years? What's the kind of size you're looking at basically?
So
on India basis, on your Gujarat exposure, and of course the SME.
So I will not talk about the specific state, I do not have that data, but on an India basis we have said that we want to grow the retail at a CAGR of almost 25%.
Okay.
So we should be probably charting that path very comfortably is what the feeling at this point in time.
And your track record in recovery, which is 99.5%, is this because of your physical presence equally with your digital presence, or what is the set of experience for L&T Finance in that terrain?
So this is for the SME business, and of course the SME business we have presence across 52 locations, 28 branches, and we have collection people in all these 28 locations. At the moment the collection is happening through digital channel, as well as wherever there is a bit of a delay in basically encashment of the check when the payment falls due, our collection team basically reaches to these customers. So it is in the combination of both.
Could you just give a brief breakup? I can understand that data pointers which you said in the press conference are not being very clear from the locations across, but could you give us some brief idea as to the sectoral breakup or the sectoral exposure? Which are the sectors which has in SME space in Gujarat or in India? Which sectors have the more consumption?
So obviously we are operating in all the three key sectors or segments, that is manufacturing, services, as well as trading. And in manufacturing, basically textiles, garment, and pharma are some of the basically areas where the exposure has been taken. We are not really tracking the sector by sector at this small book level. Maybe in future definitely we would want to look at that angle as well. At this point in time, it is done only to good quality customers on the basis of their basically financial credentials that the underwriting is done.
Okay. So my last question basically, we've been talking on the SME Finance, but any idea or outline you can give on the startup finances which is happening today through L&T Finance, or what's in that terrain? What's really quizzing in that terrain?
So we are doing the SME financing as a product, and which is basically not really we are having kind of an industry agnostic basically business model. Idea is to basically lend to established businesses on the basis of basically their credentials.
Okay.
Having said that, we are talking of the product that is taking care of the income profile, average bank balance profile, or the degree vintage. So any startup which falls in any of these three categories and needs a funding and falls in the SME financing product of ours, we would be comfortable to lend to them as well.
Thanks for speaking to L&T Gujarat, and wishing you all the best with your
Thank you so much.
targets in future. Thank you.
Thank you.